So, a little bit of MLP news, as far as a lot of us are concerned, and myself mostly. First of all, as far as G5 goes, one, we have yet to get a trailer, but we are getting more information out there. We're getting more, I guess you could say, more promotional material, mostly like what newer toys are going to be part of G5 to help promote it when they come out. We have some on Pip. I think we have some on Hitch, I believe. So we have some new ones there as well as some new promotional material. And it looks like now, perhaps, just going off what I'm seeing, and hopefully you guys can see this up here, it looks like in one of the latest promotional materials they have is the hinting maybe at Zip having a crush maybe on Hitch. Well, first of all, let me explain this. When you look at the picture, it doesn't seem like that, but the way they have the expression of Zip, on her face, and, they have her next to Hitch, it's almost like maybe they're trying to hint at the fact that perhaps there might be something like a crush between, between Hitch and Zip. Mostly, like I said, Zip crushing on Hitch, and maybe we'll find out when the movie comes out. And maybe perhaps that might divert from the, potential expectation just given off by that little animation teaser we got about a month or two ago or 3 months ago, I should say, perhaps there being something similar between Hitch and Sunny. Now, that's not the only news as well. As far as the show itself, which is based off G5, according to Equestria Daily, Atomic Cartoons, I think, or Atomic Studios out of Canada, is looking for some new artists to help contribute to the series. New artists that can work within the CGI style of the series. This, if you're a fan, or if you have artistic background, or you're learning about art, or you're getting ready to graduate from an artistic animation school or whatever, this is actually pretty good news because it opens the door for you to fully, officially step foot into the world of animation. The only catch is that Atomic Studios, Atomic Cartoons, the ones that are behind G5, the series, are located in Canada, around Vancouver and stuff, places like that. But I think because of what's going on, they might be willing to work with people that live in the United States. They might be willing to hire people that live in the United States and perhaps send them information like a care package or something like that that contains the software, the software, I should say, excuse me, the software and other stuff that is necessary to help contribute to the reality of the G5 show coming to life. So I would assume that that's what they got planned, and potentially if they go out and hire someone outside of Canada, mostly in the US, that they might have to send them physically or digitally, depending on how they do it, the software and information needed and the instructions that are needed to kind of get them going and contributing their artistic background, their artistic experience to the show. And as that progresses, but we'll have to see, exactly, what really. I mean, if you're an animator, I should say, you have to see, and you're looking for like that first step. You have to further look into how this is going to work. Some would assume that you have to probably live in Canada. But like I said, I think they might be willing to work around that because of what's been going on. Because not a lot of people are gonna want to travel back and forth. You know what I'm saying? Especially with, a pandemic, kind of nearing its end, but still circulating out there. So I'm willing to guess that they might be willing to work, with people they would potentially hire, outside of Canada in this country by, like I said, physically sending them like a care package or something like that with the software that is necessary for them to, get, things up and running to help them contribute to the existence of the show. So, that's pretty good. That's pretty much some good news to hear when it comes to G5. The fact that we are getting some new figures, there's some new promotional artwork, and on top of that, the studio behind the series that's based off the movie or takes place after the movie is looking for people to help contribute to it. I mean, they already got an established MLP, Friendship is Magic fan artist, working on the series, as you've seen with the promotional material and the images, the screenshots themselves. So it's good that at least they're looking, outside of, established animation veterans to, bring in some new fresh talent to help, make the rounds and make things a lot, easier for them, and maybe contribute some ideas themselves to add into the show from an animation standpoint. Now, besides that, as far as, let's say, G4 goes, My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, one of the most popular collectibles in the past year or so has been the Bishoujo. I think that's what they call the Bishoujo statues. I can't pronounce the other name. The Kachabushi Studios, but the Bishoujo statues, basically. The ones with the human version of the characters and, of course, the pony versions. Well, news broke today, or yesterday, I should say, that the Celestia Bishoujo statue, the Kotobukiya statue, has gone up for pre-order. That's right, it's gone up for pre-order. And basically the expected shipping date or due date for its release, retail-wise, is between December of this year and February of next year. So basically between Christmas this year and Valentine's Day next year is when Celestia is supposed to be shipped out. But pre-orders right now from slideshow.com's, the people that are, mostly promoted out of everybody else to be able to get your hands on these figurines or these collectibles, they basically have pre-orders up and running right now. The same with Luna. Luna's Bishoujo statue is up for pre-orders right now. She's scheduled to be released between October and November. And then one that everybody has been getting their hands on recently, one of the newer ones, is up for pre-order once again, up for restock. And I am fortunate enough to finally say that I will be getting one. I've been waiting for a while to get one, and I am going to be getting it from the place that it's coming from, or getting promoted the most as to where you can get these from. And that is, I am getting Sunset Shimmer. That's right. I am going to get my first Bishoujo MLP collectible statue, and it will be a Sunset Shimmer. I'm still looking into the other ones. I'm looking at places like Entertainment Earth and Big Bad Toy Store, as well as even Amazon and other places to try to build that collection. But right now, the first one that's on the the first one on the docking block, I should say, for me to obtain is going to be Sunset Shimmer. Now, do I have plans to get Luna and Celestia, do pre-orders for them as time goes on? Absolutely. The only catch, though, when you do this is they give you the option of payment plans or just to pay it in full or majority in full. And that's what I've done. I've pretty much paid it majority in full, except for maybe $8.99 or something like that for Sunset Shimmer, which won't be a problem anyway because Sunset is expected to ship out this month. So hopefully before this month is out, I will have Sunset Shimmer in my possession. But anyway, like I said, the pre-orders for Celestia is up and running as of yesterday, and Luna's is already up and running. There is a difference in price, which is really crazy because with Sunset, she's priced at $110. The total basically is $118, but then you got to add in shipping eventually when it does get shipped. So you're probably looking around the lines of maybe $130, $125 or something like that with Sunset. Now, when it comes to Celestia and it comes to Luna, it's basically about the same thing. You're looking at maybe $138, $168. And if you decide to pay a majority of it, you're only looking at maybe another $9 to contribute. but then you're looking at the shipping costs as to where they're coming from before you get your hands on it. And that could be around maybe an additional, like I said, $20, $30, something like that. But it will be worth it in the long run. I know some people are not going to be in a hurry to want to get Celestia and Luna just yet, because they're probably thinking, let it circulate, let it, go out to retail, and we can get it that way. It's easier. And that might be true, but sometimes getting it, like that's a lot easier said than done, because it might be easier, but it's a lot easier, if you know what I'm saying, than done, because, you have to look around, you got scalpers and all that, so you got to be, kind of on your toes before you get one. Oh, before you get your hands on one, I should say. And as for me, I'm no stranger to this. I mean, as you could potentially see in these pictures and these videos, I have somewhat of these kind of statues anyway. I mean, as you can see, I have basically things like Phoenix and X-23, both from X-Men. Steel box. I mean, I've opened them up. I've done reviews on them, but they're in the boxes in the closet. And then, of course, I have, in addition to that, I have the miniature, kind of like Bushido statues or collectible statues, that I have the magnetized platforms for them to stand on, or the magnetized standees for them to stand on, and that's of Emma Frost and Rogue. So I'm no stranger to these whatsoever. I know what they're like, and to me, to be able to obtain something like this, it's going to be great. It's going to be a great addition to the collection. The only question anybody has when they get these kind of things is, where do I place them? Where do I place them? And oh, by the way, it's not just it's not just the pictures I showed you of the other statues that I have that are similar in that tone. I also have, of course, Dark Magician Girl from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Dark Side of Dimensions movie when it came out. So that's basically what you're looking at, but a bit bigger when it comes to the collectible Bushido statues of Sunset, Luna, and Celestia. And one of the things that a lot of people have pointed out when it came to Celestia is they noticed that the price point, is about $30 more than Luna. And I think it's because Celestia is looked at as basically like the Optimus Prime, if you will, of MLP FIM. She's basically looked at as the most revered figure, and basically she's looked at as the biggest pony. I mean, you take a look at some of her, some of the images, screenshots of her alongside other ponies, including her own sister, and you get that impression that, yeah, she's the biggest one. And that it would explain why hers is going to be the biggest out of all the figures that they've sold. And is it going to be worth it in the end when it finally arrives in people's hands at the end of this year and at the beginning of next year? Yeah, it'll be worth it, there's no doubt. But again, the price point right now is kind of at a situation to where it's affordable, but there's a lot of people that kind of know that even though it's affordable, for mostly right now, especially with what's going on economy-wise and financially for a lot of us, even though it's affordable now, that as it gets ready to ship towards the end of the year and everything and into next year, that's when the price point will go up a little bit more because of the shipping cost and everything. But overall, besides that, that's the only other news MLP-wise I could talk about here. I know that some people are still waiting for more Bushido statues to be released. In fact, some people have even said, or even talked about and mentioned, not just said, but talked about and mentioned and asked, well, what about Spike? Is Spike going to get one? Will Spike get his own Bushido statue? And that would be an interesting kind of a collectible for them to work on, as a future MLP Bushido statue to get, to get Spike one or to give Spike one. But the question is, how do you, position it? How do you design it? Do you just keep Spike as he is? Or do you basically take that classic version of, or that, not classic, but that future version of Spike we saw, in the final episode, and you put him side by side with his original version, maybe with wings? You know, that's a good question. We don't really know, because as far as Equestria girls go, he was a dog in that version, and some of these Bushido statues with the characters, with the main six, and the princesses, they've always been kind of basically they've always been basically the the pony versions of the characters that we all know and love, alongside potentially what is inspired by their EQG forms, along with them. So it makes you wonder. But then again, these are Japanese based. These are basically manga and anime based. So they might find a way to give us a humanoid Spike, if you will, maybe with wings. But you also got to remember, it's not just Spike that has yet to get a statue either. You got to look at the fact that Starlight still remains, and Cadence and Shining Armor still remain, and maybe even Discord, as some people are hoping for. But yeah, you got basically, as far as like ponies go, and all that, you got, like I said, you got Cadence, you got Shining Armor, you got Starlight Glimmer, you have Trixie, you have a lot of these characters. You have Maud, maybe people would like to see her. So you have potentially a lot of other, established popular characters that fans would like to see, get Bushido statue forms, or Bushido statue collectibles made out of. And if I was to guess as to who would be next, I would say it's going to be Cadence, and I would say it's going to be Starlight. I just got this feeling. I don't know why, but I expect probably before the summer's out that word's going to come around and it's going to get reported that Cadence and Starlight are going to be next on the list. So we'll have to see. But overall, though, like I said, guys, that's about it for the MLP news that I can let you know about. Again, like I said, they are looking for artists to help them out with the series based on the G5 movie. We also have new figures and everything, along with promotional artwork that might hint at something between Zip and Hitch. Maybe Zip having a crush on Hitch. So that's about what. That's about it, I should say, as far as G5. And then, of course, with G4, like I said, the Celestia figure is out for pre-order. Luna's is out for pre-order. And basically, as for me, I'm on the verge of getting my first one, and it will be Sunset Shimmer. So anyway, though, guys, that's all I'm going to say. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments, as well as in the live chat during the premiere. And let me know which ones you feel should be next on the list of Bushido statues. Who do you think should be next on that list? Do you think it should be Starlight? Do you think it should be Spike? Do you think it should be Cadence? Do you think it should be Trixie, Maud, Discord? Who do you think? Let me know down below, and I will talk to y'all later. God bless. Take care. Get vaccinated. And I'm out.